Hi, and welcome to another Average Joe Hockey Report. In this video, I know it's an early prediction, but I'm gonna predict my four sleepers for this next coming NHL season. I did sleepers for the last season, and I figured I'd do it for this season as well. So, uh, for the Pacific Division, my sleeper is the Los Angeles Kings. Reason why I say Los Angeles Kings is because they've shored up their depth at center between Anze Kopitar and Philip Deneau. As much as I don't think Philip Deneau is worth 5.5 million, um, uh, I think he could still be a valuable player for the Kings. And they also have they also added Victor Arvidsson, and they got some young players that I wouldn't necessarily either write off or some really young prospects that could make the jump to the team. Because between I wouldn't write off Andreas Athanasiou yet, for example, and then I like the addition of Alex Edler on defense, and then for prospects, between like Alex Turcotte or Arthur Kaliev or Quinton Byfield, um, even Jared Anderson Dolan. I don't know. I'd like to think that there's somebody that's going to make a jump onto at least one of these prospects are going to make the jump to the team. And yeah, so with that being said, that's why I have them as a sleeper in the Pacific. In the Central, my choice for sleepers, Chicago Blackhawks. Now, they definitely invested heavily in Seth Jones, who whose statistics have been declining. But I think Seth Jones, this is his chance um, uh, to bounce back. I'd like to think that the offense in Chicago is better than it is in Columbus. I also don't mind the addition of Jake McCabe. And then I'd like to think that with a healthy Jonathan Taves and a healthy Kirby Doc uh, and whatnot, that I think that's why I choose Chicago as a sleeper. As much as I didn't necessarily care for them losing P.S. Suter, I do like the addition of Marc-Andre Fleury in net. I think he'll at least be a good mentor for Kevin Lankinen. And yeah, so that's why I have Chicago as a sleeper in the Central. In the Metropolitan Division, my sleeper is the New Jersey Devils. I'd like to think that with the additions of Ryan Graves and Dougie Hamilton, that it should shore up their defense really well. And Jonathan Bernier, I mean, I didn't mind Scott Wedgwood, but I think Jonathan Bernier is going to be a great backup for Mackenzie Blackwood. And then the addition of Thomas Tatar could really help them out, except for maybe playoff time. Thomas Tatar, that's why he was never re-signed by the Montreal Canadiens, is because whenever playoffs comes around, he doesn't seem to fare too well or whatever. But no, I like what New Jersey's doing with their defense and their forwards and their goaltending, and that's why I have them as a sleeper. I mean, they also have a few interesting prospects in Nolan Foote and Dawson Mercer as well, and Alexander Holtz. So we'll see if one of those guys can make the jump to the big league. Maybe not yet, considering Dawson and Holtz are both 19, and then Nolan Foote's still 20. So, but no, I like the direction that the Devils are going towards, and that's why I say they could very well be the sleepers in the Metro. And now, my team for the Atlantic, my sleeper for the Atlantic. I know I've already burned that on Montreal Canadiens last year. I'm not doing it this year. Don't worry. Ottawa Senators. I'm going with the Ottawa Senators. Reason being is they've got quite a few exciting forwards. You look at the Josh Norrises and the Tim Stützles, and then even the Brady Kachucks and the Drake Bathersons. You look at that. That looks exciting. The defense looks like it's shoring up a bit. Artem Zub had a good first season in the NHL. Um, Jacob Bernard Docker looks promising. Eric Branstrom looks promising. Victor Mete. Here's the thing with Victor Mete. If he was used properly in Montreal, and maybe even the problem with Victor Mete, he got rushed up. He wasn't ready. He was not NHL ready to begin with. Okay? And then he struggled, and then they brought him back to the AHL, and he was lighting it up in the AHL, but they should have kept him there. They should have kept him there to keep working on his development. But no, they were too quick to call him right back up. And by then, it's Claude Julien, who's not really good at working with the youth. They just kept Mete buried or whatever. And then by the time, Dominic Ducharme came in, it was kind of too late. So Victor Mete could definitely still very well bounce back with the Ottawa Senators. He's only 23. And then, yeah. I think also, let's talk about their goaltending. I'm not a fan of Matt Murray's game, but there's definitely an opportunity for Murray to bounce back. There is. And even if he doesn't bounce back, I'd like to think that if they keep going with Philip Forsberg, not Philip Forsberg, Philip Gustafsson. Jeez Louise. Some of these Swedish names, they always just have the same last names and whatnot. It's always you know? But yeah, Philip Gustafsson. Impressive season last season. RFA at the moment. I'm sure they'll re-sign him cheap. And I think Gustafsson is the goalie of the future. He could even, I think he'll even, eventually get quite a few starts in Ottawa if they call him back up. And yeah. So yeah, I definitely like the direction that Ottawa's going. And yeah, that's why I have them as my sleeper for the Atlantic Division. This video is mostly based on opinion and may not imply how these four teams do come next season. So remember, if I'm wrong, don't belittle me, educate me. Take care, everyone, and follow my Instagram page account, you get the point. Average Joe Hockey Report, and my YouTube channel, Marty Tommy, in parenthesis, Average Joe Hockey Report.